Hey, Ben here. Today I'll be explaining the basics of ZZZ's combat and how every ability and in-combat UI functions. There are a lot of random words that get thrown at you, so I want to help explain all of these terms. The early game is very easy, but the difficulty scales, and a lot of people may miss basics or just want a refresher on certain mechanics. So this may be redundant for a lot of you, but I hope it helps someone. And a future video will come out looking in depth into certain techs and more intricacies and harder combat mechanics, so stay tuned for that. So like, sub and share if you enjoyed this, and let's begin. Your team is composed of 3 agents, your characters, as well as a Bangboo. Your agents can be one of 5 different elements: fire, electric, ice, physical, and ether. They can also be one of 5 different classes: attack, anomaly, stun, defense, and support. As for your Bangboo, they can attack during combat and even give buffs. They used to be super OP but got changed a lot, and now they're just nice little friends that help out. They're still worth thinking about when it comes to team synergies. For classes, attack units are the main DPS of a composition and so far are all crit-based DPS, and they do damage with their kit itself. Anomaly units are DPS too, and they can also be main DPS, like Piper, but they can also be quick swap sub-DPS like Grace, and also Piper if you want. They inflict damage through anomalies rather than crit-based hit damage. Stun units are the dedicated stunners, and these bad boys will inflict a lot of Daze onto enemies, filling up the Daze bar and then stunning them. This will give your whole team bonus damage, stop the enemy from moving, and let you unleash chain attacks. Anyone can inflict Daze, but they do it best. The defense class is a bit mysterious right now due to our limited roster of just one bear, but in Ben's case at least he excels in defending your team against damage and having very strong parries. Defense characters seem to also be based around assist points and generating them, and not consuming them as much. Support units provide buffs and damage amping capabilities, and also can let your next unit swap in with a quick assist from their EX special and chain attacks, unlike any other class. And for elements and anomaly. Elements change what element you apply onto enemies with your damage. This means you are buffed by your corresponding element's damage, like Ellen is buffed by ice damage %. Applying enough of an element causes an anomaly, and all attacks apply a different amount, with stronger attacks applying more. When you cause an anomaly, you have a different effect based on the element. If you apply a second different anomaly type within 10 seconds of applying an anomaly, you get a disorder effect, which also changes depending on the element. The important stats to know are attack, pen ratio, anomaly mastery, and anomaly proficiency for this effect. I don't want to see those crit grace builds. For building a team, your agents will have additional abilities in their kit, which are passives that buff the agent's kit, depending if you bring another character that matches either the element or the faction of your agent. Some are very powerful buffs, some are decent, and some are not worth fretting over. You might be seeing this online where people will force an on-type element character for an additional passive that does nothing or barely anything for the team, but that kind of information will come from Teambuilding parts in character guides. DPS regularly have very strong additional abilities, so you can match a secondary character for that. But third slot characters might not have something worthwhile, you'll have to see, and you can go for anyone there in that case. Now, let's enter combat. Top left we have our 3 agents. The one in the very top left is our on-field agent. You can swap forwards at will, and if you don't know already, you can also swap backwards. The green bar is your health bar, don't let that drop to 0. There are no healers in ZZZ, it's a kill or be killed environment. There is one Bangboo that heals, but that's about it, and instead you'll heal in between combat instances. Instead of sitting back and healing, you'll have to make every dodge and parry and counter matter. The bar underneath is your energy bar. Every agent has a cap of 120 energy, but agents have a different energy cost for their EX special. EX specials are quite core to a kit, and they are the enhanced but most often used version of the special attack. So this energy bar is not related to your ultimate. You will gain energy passively during combat, depending on your energy regen, and then you also gain it from attacking with certain abilities. The counter in the top left under everything is your decibel meter, and this is increased from attacking, stunning enemies, doing chain attacks, and causing anomaly effects. It is a shared pool, and at 3000, you can choose any of your 3 agents to unleash their ultimate. Since it's shared, this means you can only use one. As for the enemy, we have their HP, and underneath we have the Daze bar. When enemies are hit, you will inflict Daze based on your Daze multiplier rather than the damage multiplier. Some attacks and agents just do a lot more than others. The impact stat will increase how much Daze you inflict onto enemies. When you max the Daze bar, the enemy is dazed with this rainbow number. This will crowd control them, and when unleashing a heavy attack, you will then start unleashing chain attacks. Chain attacks are very high, damaging attacks that can only happen from this dazed state, and you will be able to choose who chains in. Usually, you'll always want your DPS to chain attack. During Daze and Stun, the enemy receives a natural 150% damage multiplier, which means all your damage does 1.5 times more than it normally would. Some units and buffs can even increase this, like Lycon. This mechanic is essential for survivability but also for damage, which is why having a stun unit can be so important. Onto abilities. Agents have the same ability categories but vastly different abilities. This means every agent can have an ultimate, an EX special, a dodge attack, but some will have enhanced versions, different variations, charge versions, etc. A unit like Lucy has an EX special, but she can charge it as well. A unit like Ellen has a roaming mode with bonus dash attacks. There's so much potential for unique and cool kits in the future, the current roster is already mostly varied. From left to right, our first is our basic attack. This will be used by your on-field DPS for clearing trash enemies and be used a ton by your stun unit for bosses. Because in fact versus bosses, we usually want to stun them ASAP and get our DPS to spam everything on the stunned enemy with its massive 1.5 times damage increase. For trash mobs though, we mash these basics all over the place. They are consistent strings of damage, and every agent has a different string. Some ones even have extra elemental parts to it corresponding to their element. An example of a different basic attack is Lycon, who can hold a basic attack to do charged ice basics instead, which are very important for his playstyle. The dodge button is next. Pressing it does a short dash in which you are invulnerable during a small period of time. If you basic attack after a dash, you perform a dash attack. Some agents can dash attack and continue into their basic attack string, which may be useful for quicker combos. Dash attacks though aren't too major unless your unit specifically has very strong or unique ones. Dodging when an enemy is about to attack you instead lets you perform a perfect dodge and you enter this slow-mo state. You'll be using this a lot to evade attacks. If you attack after a perfect dodge, you perform a dodge counter, which is a nice, quick amount of damage. So dodge plus attack is a dash attack, and perfect dodge plus attack is a dodge counter. Special is next. Every unit has a special and an EX special. Normal specials are not really used, but some characters still make use of them for applying Anomaly like Grace, and you can swap cancel their animation, it's fine to use them before swapping to a different unit. Normal specials are also heavy attacks, which we can make use of for quickly inflicting stun on dazed enemies or chain attacks. EX specials are what you'll be using most of the time. They use the energy bars below your character's HP bars and often have very strong effects. Some EX specials are really important to a character's kit, like Anton's, and some units can even charge their EX specials, like Lucy. Next is the assist button. Pressing it swaps to the next agent in your party. You can of course swap backwards too with a keybind. Instead of dodging when an enemy is about to hit you with the dodge button, you can use the assist button to parry or evade with the next unit in your party. If the enemy's attack has a red glint, you can not parry, and instead you'll dodge with the next unit, but a yellow-orangey glint will let you parry. When parrying, melee units will perform a defensive assist, and ranged units will perform an evasive one. They're the same ability type, just a bit different. Defensive assists do damage, and evasive ones dash away and enter a slow mode state for a short period of time. After using either a defensive or evasive assist, you want to press basic attack for an assist follow-up attack. Finally, the assist button can be used when you get knocked down by an attack to quickly swap into the next unit, and they'll perform a strong attack called a quick assist after getting back up. You can also get quick assists without face tanking attacks, and you get them from support units EX special or supports chain attacks. The final button is the Alt button I explained earlier, which unlocks itself when you attain 3000 decibels. Every class type has a different bonus from alts, and some characters have bonuses on top of their own. Supports will regenerate energy, attack units do a ton of damage, anomaly units do a ton of anomaly application, defense units generate more assist points, and stun units apply a ton of daze. I usually just let my DPS ult on a stunned enemy and leave it at that. All these abilities work in different ways and have different effects based on your character. I really like the variety. Some attack types inflict more Daze and damage and Anomaly, but some can provide other benefits like dodging out the way. Also, some attacks will give you an iframe or an invincibility frame where you cannot take damage. Using all this to your knowledge hopefully improves your gameplay experience. And if it did, make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.